What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another Detroit Lions video. Now, the Detroit Lions are obviously 0-2, and the Arizona Cardinals, who we take on in a few days, are 2-0 and have beaten a really good 49ers team and a Washington team that has a surprisingly good defense. Now, a lot of people in the Detroit Lions community, a lot of fans do not think that we have a chance to win this game. A lot of people are down. A lot of people are thinking that we're not going to win any games this year, or if we do, it's going to be like 1-3, and we're going to have the first overall pick. And that could happen. I mean, if with Matt Patricia coaching the defense, with Matt Patricia coaching the team, you never know how bad this team is going to be. But, trying to keep things positive, trying to keep things lighten up, I'm going to talk about today why, whether or not I think the Detroit Lions can bounce back, whether or not I think the Detroit Lions can go into Arizona against the 2-0 red-hot Arizona Cardinals and come out with an upset victory. Now, before we do get into the video, if you are new to the channel and are enjoying this Detroit Lions content, consider liking the videos and subscribing to the channel, as it takes only 2 seconds out of your day and helps me push this channel out to more Detroit Lions fans such as yourselves. So if you could do that, I would be greatly appreciative for it, and it would help out the channel a lot. But with that being said, let's get into talking about whether or not I believe the Detroit Lions can go into Arizona on Sunday and come out with an upset victory over the undefeated Cardinals. Now, obviously, as Detroit Lions fans know, we have had our fair share of struggles, blowing a huge lead in the fourth quarter to the Chicago Bears in Week 1 and being thoroughly dominated in Week 2 by the Green Bay Packers. And, going into Week 3, our schedule does not get any easier, as the Cardinals are currently 2-0 as well. Just like the other two teams that we have played this season, they are really good offensively. They've scored a lot of touchdowns. They've had a lot of big plays behind their, breakout player in Kyler Murray so far in their kind of revamped offense. They're really, effective and strong offensive play, and which is obviously led by Kyler Murray, as I said. Now, the Detroit Lions, even though they have had their struggles, have also shown a lot of flash, and they've shown a lot of potential to be good in this NFL season against two teams that are currently undefeated, and one in the Packers that look really, really good, and one in the Chicago Bears who have a fantastic defense. Now, the first reason I think the Detroit Lions can pull off the upset this week is because Kenny Golladay is returning. He is expected to return Week 3. We've missed him the first 2 games, and without Kenny Golladay in that lineup, our passing offense does not look the same. Matthew Stafford does not look like the same quarterback as last season, and I'm not going to say it's all Kenny Galladay's fault, and I'm not going to say that, that is an excuse for Matthew Stafford. He still needs to play well without his top weapon, but when you are getting your top weapon back, when you're getting back to the guy that was the most effective for you last season, you kind of have that connection with the guy. You kind of have that bond, and that is your security blanket. If there is nothing there, if there is no wide open pass, you can throw it up to Kenny Golladay and trust that he's going to go up and win a 50-50 ball more than 50% of the time. Like when it's Kenny Golladay, it's not a 50-50 ball. It's a 70-30 ball in favor of Kenny Golladay. And having that security blanket, having that big body possession wide receiver, as good as Marvin Jones is, Kenny Golladay is a whole tier above Marvin Jones. And just having those two guys, having another weapon in there that can go up, be effective, knows the system, is a top 10 wide receiver in the NFL. Having that guy and bringing that guy back to give to a Matthew Stafford that is, I wouldn't say struggling so far in the NFL season, but definitely isn't living up to the hype that a lot of Lions fans had for him. Bringing back his number 1 weapon in the passing game is going to help Matthew Stafford a lot. Bringing back another weapon against a Cardinals defense that, isn't necessarily the greatest right now when it comes to, defensive rankings. Bringing Kenny Golladay back is going to have a huge impact on Stafford. It's going to have a huge impact on the passing offense, and I think that is going to help. It's not going to save this team by any means, but it is definitely going to be a boost to this offense, and it is going to definitely help us put up more points to maybe contend and maybe keep up with the offense that is going to score a lot of points on our poor defense. Now, another guy that might be coming back is Halapoulivaati Vaitai. He was listed as questionable last week. He was out Week 1, it was immediate. He was out. Last week, he was questionable the day of the game, and this week, hopefully he's been practicing. I haven't heard anything specifically about him, but the fact that he moved from out to questionable last week makes me think that they're trying to get him on the field. They're trying to get him out there. He's trying to get out there on the field and play for his team. And, I think that he will play this week. He was questionable last week. Generally, if a guy is questionable one week, he's, pretty good to go the next week, especially if he sat out that game. So, I would expect Big V to play this weekend, and bringing back, our starting right tackle and our number one wide receiver is going to help this offense out. Again, I don't know if it's going to save this team. I don't think it will, because I still think that, if the Detroit Lions want to win football games, especially this football game, they're going to have to put up a lot of points, and they cannot have drives stall out like they have the last couple of games. So, these weapons coming back, these players, these starters coming back are definitely going to help out the team. And, if we want to pull off an upset this week, we're going to need every single part of our arsenal available. And bringing back our number one wide receiver and our number one right tackle is going to be a huge help for us. Last week, the Arizona Cardinals obviously beat the Washington Redskins by, more than 2 scores. I can't remember the exact score, but it was, by a significant amount. It was a pretty comfortable win by the Cardinals. However, the Arizona Cardinals defense did not play particularly well in the run or the pass game. Now, last week against the Arizona Cardinals, the Washington Redskins had a really good day on the ground, as both Antonio Gibson and J.D. McKissic had over 50 rushing yards apiece. J.D. McKissic did it on 8 carries for 53 yards, and Antonio Gibson, the rookie, had 13 carries for 55 yards and a touchdown. And there were a couple other players to run the ball as well that were pretty effective. So, the Arizona Cardinals run game hasn't been that great at stopping anything, and, our running backs are more talented than Antonio Gibson and J.D. McKissic. J.D. McKissic was on this team last year, and he was left. I don't know if, he wanted to leave or if the team didn't want him anymore, but he's no longer on the team, and I think we have more talented running backs than the Arizona Cardinals. Adrian Peterson was really good in his first 2 appearances. He hasn't gotten into a lot of carries, but in the carries he has gotten, he has been very effective and can definitely get over 50 yards on 8 carries. That is definitely something that is feasible for Adrian Peterson. And Kerryon Johnson last week had a great bounce back game versus the Green Bay Packers rush defense. And, again, just like Adrian Peterson, wasn't used a lot, but when he was used, he was super effective, and he was, he scored one of the only 3 touchdowns in the game for the Detroit Lions, and that is huge. Scoring touchdowns, having long drives, being able to be the engine of that offense, and being able to fall forward on every rushing attempt, be able to get positive yards on every rushing attempt, and keep the offense on schedule is a huge part of why a defense, and why a team can win football games without a great defense. If you can keep your offense on schedule, if you can run out the clock, if you can play really good running football, then you are going to be a pretty good team, because you're going to drain the clock. You're not going to give the opposing offense time to score points, and you are going to put up points and not give your opponent as much opportunity to do so against you. So the Detroit Lions can run the football if Matt Patricia allows Darrell Bevell to run the ball a lot. And I know we talk about Darrell Bevell stopping the run game, but somebody yesterday in the comments, or somebody made a video responding to one of my videos yesterday and said that, Matt Patricia said that he wanted to do running back by committee so that his players didn't get hurt and they could play a full 16-game season. So, I said that Matt Patricia doesn't touch the offense very much, but Matt Patricia might actually be behind, the reason that we stopped the run game, because Darrell Bevell, everywhere else he's been, has ran the ball a lot and ran it efficiently, and for some reason in Detroit, all of a sudden he stopped running the ball a lot. It's not stopping being efficient. He's still makes an efficient run game happen, but it doesn't happen enough. And I think that might actually have something to do with Matt Patricia coming up to him and putting every running back on a snap count. He comes up to Darrell Bevell every weekend and says, every Saturday comes up and says, all right, Kerryon gets 10 touches, AP gets 8 touches, this guy gets so many touches, and after that, we're shutting it down and we're passing the ball because I don't want my running backs to get hurt. That is another flaw of Patricia, is that if that is true, I can't confirm nor deny that that is true. I don't remember Matt Patricia saying that for a fact, but, I'm going to take the word of whoever said it yesterday. And, if that is the case, then again, that is another flaw on Matt Patricia, because your job is on the line. Matt Patricia's job is on the line. Darrell Bevell's job is on the line. Corey Unland's job is on the line. Everybody is in jeopardy of losing their job. And, at this point, I do not care about the player's health if I'm Matt Patricia. And, obviously I don't want them to get hurt. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying like, oh, I want you to go tear your ACL or anything. But at this point, why put your players in a snap count when they are your most effective players? If they are going to help you win football games and maybe, just maybe, give you an argument to why you should remain a member of the Detroit Lions organization, if those are the players that are keys to you keeping your job potentially, why are you putting them on a snap count? Why are you, limiting their effectiveness when they can literally save your job? Like, that doesn't make sense to me. And whether that is on the part of Darrell Bevell or on the part of Matt Patricia, both of their jobs are in jeopardy. So both of them should not care at this point about a snap count. Both of them should run Adrian Peterson and Kerryon Johnson into the ground, hoping to save their jobs, hoping to be in Detroit next season. The Arizona Cardinals defense is susceptible to the run game. We saw it last weekend against a, Washington football team that isn't super good at running the ball, in my opinion. I don't think they have a great offensive line. I don't think they have elite running backs, but they were still very effective against the Arizona front seven. And I think the Detroit Lions can do that just as well, if not better, than what we saw last week in the football team. Now, Arizona's pass offense isn't great either. It wasn't horrible. It hasn't been horrible throughout the past two games, but nothing really elite either. It's kind of average. And, we know with Kenny Golladay coming back, Matthew Stafford can air the ball out and put out 100. Matthew Stafford could throw for 300 yards and 4 touchdowns in any game. So, going against an average secondary could definitely be an advantage for the Detroit Lions. I wouldn't say that that is, the strength of their defense, but I also wouldn't say that it is a weakness of their defense either. It is just kind of something that, the Detroit Lions can definitely attack if it is open. The Detroit Lions can definitely take advantage of an average secondary versus an above average receiving core. So, I think that is something we could take advantage of, but I don't think that is their biggest weakness. And then the Arizona Cardinals have given up 5.5 sacks in just 2 games. And I know they've gone against really good defensive lines in the 49ers and the Washington Redskins, but this offensive line for the Arizona Cardinals is not good. Last year when we played them, I think we got 3 sacks or more. I know Devon Kennard had a great game against them. I know that, our defense got some good pressure up the middle and out of the defensive line, even only rushing 3 guys a lot. So, I think the Detroit Lions can get pressure this game. I think this is an offensive line, defensive line matchup that favors our defensive line because, individually our defensive line has the talent. It has guys like Danny Shelton and Trey Flowers and Deshaun Hand and Romeo Okwara who individually have shown flashes throughout the season, and I think that this defensive line for the Detroit Lions can take advantage of a lackluster offensive line in Arizona, and I think they can put pressure on Kyler Murray, who, for as great as he is, as elusive as he is still a young quarterback, and, still occasionally gets happy feet, still occasionally moves around in the pocket too much, where he shouldn't, and occasionally runs into sacks where they were completely avoidable. As great as Kyler Murray is, he's still a young player. He still makes occasional mistakes, and I think that the Detroit Lions can cause pressure on this offensive line. I think that they can pressure Kyler Murray into making mistakes in this game. And I think that, if we're going to win a game in the first 4 games this season, which I believe is our toughest stretch, if we are going to win one of these last 2 games, it is going to be against the Arizona Cardinals because I think that this defensive line matchup gives the defense the best opportunity to cause disruption. I think it gives the defense the best opportunity to, make Kyler Murray uncomfortable, to make him throw up some riskier passes, to make him uncomfortable, and make it so that he does not have 5-6 seconds to sit in the pocket and, find a wide open wide receiver when the DB fails to cover him for those 5 to 6 seconds. I think that the Detroit Lions can win this game with good coaching, and that is what it's going to come down to, is fantastic coaching, because the Arizona Cardinals are a talented team. That's why they're 2-0. That's why they beat the 49ers already this season, and, that is why they are looked at as one of the hottest teams in the NFL right now, is because they have the talent and they have the coaching staff. So the Detroit Lions are going to have to come in with a coaching staff, with a scheme, with a game plan to shut down Kyler Murray. They're going to have to come in with a game plan to run the football, keep the defense off the field for as long as possible, especially if we do not get initial pass rush early in the game. Darrell Bevell needs to just take over. He needs to say, Matt Patricia, I'm not listening to you anymore. You're actually going to lose me my job if I listen to you anymore. And he needs to just go rogue, and he needs to start running the ball as much as humanly possible to keep Patricia's defense off the field. I think the Detroit Lions can win this football game. Do I think they're going to? As of right now, based on what I've seen, I don't think they will, but I think they definitely can. They have the talent, they have the ability, they have the scheme. It's all right there in front of them to go out and win this football game. And the only thing holding them back, as I said in yesterday's video, is a coach, is a game plan, is a scheme that we can consistently call throughout the game and take advantage of the weaknesses that the Arizona Cardinals have shown. Now, I do not think that we will win this game, unfortunately. I do think that we lose this game as well because the Arizona Cardinals are coaching better. The Arizona Cardinals, I don't know. I don't want to say they have better talent because I think that the talent level is different in different spots. I think both teams are very talented as far as, players, as far as who they're putting on the field. I think both teams are very talented, but at this point, the Arizona Cardinals are being coached better. The Arizona Cardinals play callers are calling the plays better, and they are scheming better to take advantage of the weaknesses that they see on tape. and the coordinators and the coaches for the Lions aren't doing that as well as anybody else in the NFL, and I think that is why we will fall. I don't think it's going to be on part of the players. We might make some mistakes as far as the players. Matthew Stafford might take a dumb sack again. He might throw another interception. Stuff is going to happen. It's not always going to go our way, and the players are going to make mistakes. But at the end of the day, if our coaching staff cannot step up, if we cannot score a lot of points, if we cannot stop this Arizona Cardinals offense on defense, if we cannot hold them to lower than 42 points a game, we are not going to win this game. It is very possible that we do. It is very possible for the Detroit Lions to come into Arizona and walk out with an upset, but until our coaching staff shows me that they can consistently call a game, till this coaching staff shows me that they can consistently play defense and run the ball on offense, then I am not going to have as much faith as I originally had in this team. Now, with all that being said, that is all I got for you guys today. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Have an absolutely fantastic rest of your day. If there is Lions news before tomorrow, I will obviously make a video letting everybody know. But if there is no Lions news, then that is all I got for you guys today. I will see you all tomorrow with more Detroit Lions content. But until then, that is all I got for you guys right now. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all tomorrow. Bye, guys.